Evening, hello and welcome. You're with the news today. This is your primetime destination news. Newsmakers, talking points, and our big talking point is coming from the monsoon fury that's sweeping Western India. That's our top story. Also, has Karnataka become India's scam capital? That's the question we'll raise. Also, did Budget 2024 ignore farmers? The country's top agriculture economist, Professor Ashok Gulati, is going to be joining me soon. But first, as always, it's time for the 9 headlines at 9 tonight. Monsoon mayhem wreaks havoc across Western India. Mumbai inundated, Gujarat flooded out. 3 die of electrocution in Pune. Cloudburst in Himachal sparks an alarm. Red alert now issued for Maharashtra. Heat is mounting on Siddaramaiya's Sarkar in Karnataka. Congress refuses assembly debate on the scam. BJP demands a CBI probe. Siddaramaiya hits back claiming he will probe an alleged scam during the BJP's tenure. No end to Mahabharat over Modi 3.0 budget. Opposition reiterates biased budget charge. Parliamentary Affairs Minister says India bloc MPs are abusing the PM in the House. Supreme Court upholds states' rights on mineral tax royalty. Landmark 8-1 verdict rules royalty isn't the same as tax. Says Parliament has no right to impose taxes on mineral rights. Former Punjab Chief Minister Charanjit Singh Channi stokes a row. Says Khalistan sympathizer Amrit Pal Singh must be released from jail and allowed to attend Parliament. Congress distances itself, says Channi's views are his own. It's Devendra Fadnavis versus former Home Minister Anil Deshmukh in Maharashtra. The former Home Minister claims he was pressurized to frame false charges against Sharad Pawar and the Aghadi government. Fadnavis refutes the claim, says he will provide proof against the former Home Minister. No VVIP facilities for jailed Kannada actor Darshan. High Court rejects the murder accused's request for home-cooked meals, bed and books. Race for White House heats up. Kamala Harris gets into campaign mode. Former President Trump calls the Vice President an incompetent lunatic. An Indian men's archery team reached the Olympics quarterfinals. The Indian women also seal a direct entry into the last 8 with a 4th place finish. But the big story that we are breaking at the moment, monsoon fury has unleashed chaos across several parts of India. Heavy rains are lashing Maharashtra, Gujarat. NDRF teams deployed in Maharashtra. Red alert has now been sounded for Mumbai and neighboring areas. Schools shut down now in Pune, Pimpri, Chinswad. Tomorrow, Pune particularly witnessing heavy rainfall. Red alert, as I said, for Mumbai and neighboring areas. Heavy rainfall today, more expected tomorrow. Gujarat too has been badly affected. So Western India bearing the brunt at the moment of the monsoon, particularly the state of Maharashtra at the moment. So that's the monsoon mayhem. Heavy rains lashing Western India, Maharashtra and Gujarat. Maharashtra in particular battered by relentless rain, which is severely impacting several regions. Mumbai, Pune, as I said, experiencing heavy rainfall, extensive waterlogging. Vihar Lake, a crucial water source for Mumbai, is overflowing. Normal life has come to a standstill, leaving residents in a difficult condition. In Pune, 3 persons died due to electrocution through water during the heavy rainfall in the early hours today. Maharashtra's Chief Minister Eknath Shinde said if the need arises, the rain-hit people will be airlifted in Pune. Take a look at our top story.
Roads submerged, bridges inundated, traffic hit, citizens wading through knee-deep water. Many districts of Maharashtra are battered by incessant rains. There is no respite from rains for the state capital, Mumbai. The maximum city is experiencing extensive waterlogging. Vihar Lake, a crucial water source for the city, is overflowing. Pune is worst hit. The city's infrastructure is under strain. The Bhide Bridge is completely underwater, cutting off a vital route for many. Citizens are struggling to navigate through the flooded streets.
Municipal corporation and the rescue teams have already been arrived. The local police administration is also there. They are working on their behalf of the government, and we'll have to see how many people are stuck inside. We'll check out exactly how many people are there and how the whole rescue operation is going on.
पूरा ग्राउंड फ्लोर के फ्लैट सारे पानी में है, फर्स्ट फ्लोर तक पानी आ गया है और कम से कम 500-600 लोग अभी ऊपर अटके हुए हैं जिनको निकालना है.
पूरा घर में सामान मेहमान नीचे गिर गए पानी की वजह से, पूरा नुकसान है. प्रशासन ने कुछ पहले से बताया नहीं, इसलिए ज्यादा ये गड़बड़ हो गए.
Water from the Katraj Peshwa Lake is overflowing through the bridge, forcing a road closure. The Mutha River in Pune is also overflowing. An orange alert has been issued due to heavy rains that have pounded the city for the second consecutive day. Schools and colleges are closed and industrial establishments granted employees a day off due to the relentless rain. Residents are advised to stay indoors and avoid non-essential travel. Maharashtra Deputy Chief Minister and Pune Guardian Minister Ajit Pawar held a meeting at the district headquarters to take stock. Heavy rain in Bhiwandi led to severe flooding. In Ulhasnagar, the Ulhas River has exceeded its danger level, raising concerns. Nagpur is also suffering from heavy rain, which has led to water entering homes and causing widespread disruption. In Kolhapur, the downpour has created flood-like conditions, while Thane district faces significant flooding in low-lying areas. Kalyan, Dombivli and rural areas of Thane districts are waterlogged too.
कैचमेंट में भी बहुत बारिश गिर रहा है, डैम में भी गिर रहा है. इसके डबल वजह से ज़्यादा पानी हुआ है, लेकिन वहाँ पर सभी लोग तैनात है. मैं कलेक्टर, दोनों म्युनिसिपल कमिश्नर, दोनों पुलिस कमिश्नर, सबको सूचना दी है. एनडीआरएफ को दिया है. एनडीआरएफ का टीम वहाँ काम कर रही है. आर्मी भी मूव हो रही है वहाँ पर रेस्क्यू के लिए.
The impact of the rains across cities in Maharashtra highlights a clear failure in administrative response and preparedness. Bureau Report, India Today.
Troubling there scenes from Maharashtra, and we wish all its citizens that they remain safe. Let's turn from there to our political talking point, which today comes from Karnataka, because serial scam charges against the Siddaramaiah government have spurred a big BJP versus Congress fight. From protests inside and outside the Vidhan Saudha in Bengaluru to now a protest that's planned outside Parliament today, the BJP is upping the ante for Chief Minister Siddaramaiah to resign. The Siddaramaiah Sarkara, in turn, has launched their own probe against what they say was an alleged scam when the BJP was in power till a year ago. Clearly, it's scam versus scam face-off in scam-tainted Karnataka. Take a look.
The scam heat is rising on the Siddaramaiah government in Karnataka. BJP MLAs staged an overnight protest inside the assembly. From the alleged Muda scam that saw land allotment to Chief Minister Siddaramaiah's wife to the Valmiki Corporation scam that saw diversion of funds meant for SC/ST development, the spotlight is on the Congress government.
A judicial inquiry has been ordered. That doesn't prevent the House from discussing this relevant issue, because the House has got all the right to discuss about the Muda. It has got wider ramification, and the entire state was looking up to the assembly for the members to discuss about this present issue, what has really gone wrong, how the government has faulted, how the government has misused and abused the powers, and how it has not been accountable with regard to the Muda, how a Dalit land has been upspurred and looted by the, it has been alleged against the Chief Minister itself.
एससी समुदाय के उन्नतीकरण के लिए जो हमने पैसा रखने का बोर्ड में एक व्यवस्था है, उस पैसे को सरकार ने पूरा, कर्नाटक सरकार ने इसका पूरा दुरुपयोग किया है। जब ईडी ने एंटर किया, सिंस इट वाज ए मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग केस, तब ईडी के ऊपर ही एफआईआर करते हैं। एंड देयर इज ए इन्वॉल्वमेंट ऑफ चीफ मिनिस्टर in Valmiki scam also, Valmiki board scam also.
The Congress has rubbished the BJP charges.
This is nothing but a political drama. They have made some political strategy to take Padayatra to Mysore. As a step towards that, they are making this, not because that they wanted to do discussion.
Under fire, the Siddaramaiah government has hit back at the BJP by initiating a criminal investigation into the alleged Bhovi Development Corporation scam that took place under the BJP rule.
We'll look into all the scams which they have made. Possibly in future, in due course of time, you'll come to know.
The Bhovi Development Corporation was to lend up to 10 lakh rupee loans, but no beneficiary allegedly received more than 30,000 rupees. The irregularities came to light in 2022 when banks asked beneficiaries to repay the original amount. The Karnataka CID has identified 10 primary bank accounts that allegedly received the embezzled money. According to CID, some of these accounts belong to private companies. The first arrest in the alleged Bhovi scam was made on Thursday. 3 FIRs have also been filed in connection with the case. The face-off over scams is set to escalate with the BJP planning a 150-kilometer Padayatra from Bengaluru to Mysuru and the Congress planning a counter-yatra from Mysuru to Bengaluru. With Sagai Raj in Bengaluru, Bureau Report, India Today.
So let's raise the big questions tonight. Has Karnataka become India's latest scam capital? Has the Siddaramaiah Congress government now been pushed on the back foot? Or is it a case of the Congress's scams now and the BJP's Commission Raj in Karnataka a year ago? Syed Zafar Islam is the BJP's national spokesperson and former MP. Lavanya Balal is Congress spokesperson. Tara Krishnaswamy is co-founder Political Shakti, a women's-based group that's based in Bengaluru. And Sandeep Shastri is coordinator Lok Niti Network. Lavanya Balal, let's start with you because the heat is squarely on the Congress. Every day, for the last 10 days, one scam or the other is being brought out, the most serious of which appears the Mysore Urban Development Authority scam, land allotments there, and the Valmiki scam where money is meant for SC/STs went into allegedly purchasing even alcohol for a political campaign and a Lamborghini for the minister. What are we to say? The Congress today in Karnataka is on the back foot, ma'am. Ma'am, you're on mute. You're on mute.
Sorry about that.
Yes.
Good evening, Rajdeep. We are not on a back foot. The Congress is not on a back foot in Karnataka. And when it comes to the Muda scam that the BJP is alleging that there has been a scam, the BJP fails to answer if CM Siddaramaiah was involved in a scam. Why did all of the Muda's actions take place? When Basavaraj Bommai was the CM, when Siddaramaiah was the CM or the deputy CM and his current tenure as the CM, none of these actions have taken place in the Muda. All the irregularities, the 3,000 sites which were allotted happened during Basavaraj Bommai's tenure. The BJP is refusing to answer the basic question, push them to do this. It was not Siddaramaiah who was the CM at that point of time. So what was the necessity for them to do the allotment? 14 sites that were allotted to Parvati Siddaramaiah during Basavaraj Bommai's time. So how is it possible that Siddaramaiah is being blamed for something that the BJP has done?
Okay,
yes,
okay. I'll get the BJP to answer. The land, of course, belonged to Mr. Siddaramaiah, his wife. The question also is the Valmiki scam, where already one of your ministers has been arrested. The charge is that he siphoned off money that was meant for scheduled castes, scheduled tribes. Can you deny that?
We are not denying that. There is an investigation going on about it, but one of the officers who gave a statement that bank officers who gave a statement that it was Nagendra who pressurized him to do this has alleged that he was pressurized by the investigating officers to name the former minister Nagendra. So there was an FIR filed against the investigating ED officials as well, and the matter has reached the High Court. And the
Ma'am, the
High Court
ED
also
claims 187 crores of the tribal fund in Valmiki board illegally transferred. They claim they have the money trail. They claim
Yes.
that 89 crores illegally moved to accounts in Telangana and Andhra, some of which was used for elections. They claim the money
Yes.
was used to buy a Lamborghini and liquor for the poll campaign. They claim they have the details.
Yes, the ED is claiming that it has the details. Like I said, ED has always proof of all the allegations that the BJP makes, but it never has the proof of any allegations made by opposition parties against the BJP ever. And that is the trend that we have seen in India. We would like to wait for the investigations to be over before we comment on it.
Okay.
We also have
Let me therefore turn to you there, Syed Zafar Islam. You see, the problem in Karnataka is that there is a sense of what is called Mili Bhagat. The fact is, many of these allegations date back to a period after which there was a BJP government also between 2019 and 2023. The Muda scam in particular, alleged scam of land allotments was not investigated when y'all were in power. The problem in Karnataka, it seems, as I say, hamam mein sab nange hai.
Rajdeep, you know exactly what happened. The money which was meant for the tribal and the Dalit community was siphoned off, 94 crore. Who is responsible for that? His own minister, who tendered his resignation. Once everybody came to know about, and it came to light that he was responsible, instrumental. After the death of one Chandrasekharan, who left a note and indicating that how the money was siphoned and which account it gone, who is responsible for that, and then he resigned. So why did he resign? Because he knew that his involvement is there and the money has been siphoned off, for knowing fully well that it is going to accounts which will be utilized by those people who are not related to, or for any other purpose which is related to with this bank. And the fact that the Sitaramaiah was fully aware of this fact, because that note itself says that the whole senior minister, including chief minister and the concerned minister, everybody, in fact D.K. Shivkumar, everybody is aware that the money is being siphoned and it is being used for political purpose besides buying Lamborghini and other things which for the ministers. Then if this has come to light, when they are talking about Dalits' right, they are talking about the tribals, that tribal should be given their dues. It is us who are providing everything to the tribal community and the Dalit community, but they always mislead them. Today they stand exposed because these are the people who have also always misled in the press and the media
You mentioned the one,
in the society.
Sir, let us distinguish between, you see, there are so many scams in Karnataka, viewers will get confused. There is the alleged Valmiki scam involving money siphoned out that was meant for scheduled caste, scheduled tribes. 1 minute, sir. The second allegation, which is the land allocation involving the Mysore Urban Development Authority and allegedly the manner in which the land was allotted. For 4 years, you had a government, you did nothing about it. You see, why did Mr. Bomai's government not act on it?
See, Rajdeep, since it has come to light, it is important to highlight and make aware all the citizens of Karnataka and the people of this great country that how Congress, knowing fully well, they know that Congress is meant for corruption. Congress is known for corruption. Congress, wherever they are in the government, they rob the people through unfair practices. And this is what they have demonstrated here in
why didn't you act against the Sitaramaiah government when you were in power? Why didn't you act again? You had the opportunity. These are not new files.
Rajdeep, if I may respond, please.
Please. Just a minute. Lavanya, you want to respond quickly? Yes.
Rajdeep, the Muda site allocation happened in 2023 when the BJP government under Basavaraj Bommai was in power in Karnataka. The Muda allotment did not happen when Siddaramaiah was the CM in his current tenure or his previous tenure. The allocation of the land happened under the BJP. That's what we are saying.
No, that's
If
your
the
claim.
BJP
That's
has
your
committed
claim.
the scam.
That's your claim, which is being disputed
No,
by
it's
the
not
other
a claim.
side,
It's a
ma'am.
fact. Rajdeep, it is a fact. It is not a claim. It is a fact. It is not
Rajdeep,
a claim.
it is.
Yes, go ahead,
Rajdeep,
Zafar.
Siddaramaiah is responsible for this. Siddaramaiah is responsible for this. He is a corrupt man, and the Congress party is known for corruption. They have done it again, and we will push for him to resign in Karnataka because we have seen that number of scams has now been unearthed, and all scams have been done with the knowledge of Siddaramaiah. So he, as a chief minister, he is responsible. He must take the onus and resign from the chief ministerial post.
Okay,
and we will demand it and actively demand it, and we will protest statewide.
Okay, let me for a moment bring in my other two guests. Tara Krishnaswamy, your co-founder, Political Shakti. I recall a year ago when the Siddaramaiah government came in, the charge was that the BJP Sarkara was a 40% commission Raj. Today the shoe seems to be on the other foot. It's Mr. Siddaramaiah on the back foot. Would you agree somewhere that Karnataka's politics, possibly because of the large monies involved, especially in real estate, corruption now seems to have become endemic, or at least charges of corruption?
Rajdeep, every time and in many states, as governments come in and governments go out, we repeatedly hear of scams and corruption charges. And it is not clear to me that everybody involved in it ends up where they should end up. What worries me as a citizen is that, A, we don't hear about it in any kind of systemic fashion. It is not because there is an ombudsman that is monitoring this. It is not because an audit threw it up. There is no systematic institutional mechanism that detects this early enough to prevent it, or forget that, detects it as soon as it happens. There are no triggers, red alerts that are thrown up. Instead, one may hear about it 5 years after it happens, 3 years after it happens. One may hear about it, a year after it happens. And the government has changed meanwhile, so there is a lot of back and forth that happens. Now, we do have a Lok Ayukta in the state. Nevertheless, we have not received, they can only act if they receive complaints. It's not clear to me, other than, writing to them, is there a systematic way that we've set up websites for every department by which we can, mail the Lok Ayukta? Do they have enough, human resources to do this? And the reason I raise this question is not because this data is not available online. It is. But the fact is that these scams don't come to light because of the Lok Ayukta. They come to light because of some other exogenous
No, they're coming from within. No, madam,
that's what I'm saying.
The scams are coming from within because the politicians know exactly who's taking money in which particular scam. And that brings me to Professor Shastri, the state of Karnataka today. Here is a state which today we are suggesting has become a scam capital, and it's not as if that happened only in 2023. You will recall when Basavaraj Bommai was the chief minister, there was this campaign about Pay CM. That this was a CM who you could pay off and commission Raj, 40% commission, contractors wrote letters. Now the boot is on the other foot, the Congress is on the back foot. Is there something endemic, as I asked Tara also, wrong with Karnataka politics? The money is too big.
Rajdeep, you are right that this is not a distinguished distinction to have, being called the scam capital. Coming straight to your point, I think the coming together of power, money, and real estate is something that has bogged down every government in the recent past in Karnataka. Therefore, when one party comes to power, they talk about your scam, and the next party which comes to power is forget my scam, what about your scam? So this my scam, your scam business is trying to project what the other has done and sideline what you have done. And this is very clear in the debate on the Muda issue.
So is real estate at the heart of it?
Valmiki scam issue.
No, is real estate at the heart of it?
No,
earlier
you
it started off with
the,
mining.
Rajdeep,
Has it moved to real estate? Has real estate become the key to it, and the stakes there are just too high?
Rajdeep, you scratch a little deeper. In most urban areas, you will see that elected representatives somewhere or the other have a connection with the real estate lobby. And irrespective of the party which wins a seat, in urban areas, there is this strong connection between the real estate dealers and those who become elected representatives. And therefore, you automatically see the impact of that, irrespective of which political party comes to power.
You know, but where does the point, Professor Shastri, that I'm driving at, certain states in this country at the moment, because of the lucrative nature of it, just the hundreds of crores. In other states, we might talk of tens of crores. Just the scale of it, also the money that they spend to become MLAs and MPs. Karnataka, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, these are the states today where MPs are allegedly spending 50 crores and more to become MPs and MLAs. So you want a return on investment?
Rajdeep, it's a fact that the states you mentioned are seeing very high election expenditures by candidates. And the fact is that if such expenditures happen, there has to be a source for such expenditures. And the source for such expenditure is the black money or the parallel economy that is emerging because of the real estate transactions. And elections become a time for this to be converted into white money. So I think there is a very, very, very strong linkage and connection between all these. And this is being increasingly seen in urban areas where the value of property is shooting up quite exponentially.
You know, Lavanya Balal, you all came to power claiming Commission Raj. You are 1 year into the government finding yourself being called Scam Raj. And for all, for the Congress party, it doesn't bode well because it's going to hit your image nationally. If a state like Karnataka, every day the headlines that are coming out is scam versus scam, and the buzz is that much of this is internal. There are people within the Congress as well who are raking up these scams, giving the evidence to the BJP because they want Mr. Siddaramaiah out and possibly replaced by someone else.
Well, Rajdeep, BJP has a history of its leaders accusing in Karnataka the BJP leaders themselves about the scams. And no one said it is BJP versus BJP. Yatnal is famous for, bringing out a lot of scams. In fact, Karnataka came to know about the 40,000 crore COVID scam done by the BJP government then, only because of Mr. Yatnal. Right? And then, of course, we came to know about how the contractors have also been scammed in Karnataka. At this point of time, just because the BJP claims that there is a scam doesn't make it a scam. As far as the Valmiki bank scam is going on, there are 3 different investigations going on, one by the SIT and one by the CBI as well. So there are investigations going on, and one was, the SIT was formed on 31st of May, and on the 3rd of May, CBI has started, checking into the FIR that was lodged with the CBI. So we are not trying to protect the people who were involved in the scam. We are not defending them, unlike the BJP, which goes out of its way to defend the people involved in all the scams in Karnataka. They should not be the ones
Syed Zafar Islam, the ED has moved quickly in the case of the Valmiki scam, arrested Mr. Nagendra, alleged scam. The fact, though, is, Mr. Syed Zafar Islam, allegations of an equal nature were made when your government was in power. No ED came to Karnataka. How come the ED only comes when there is an opposition-ruled state? And then you will shout and scream in parliament, in the Vidhan Sauda there. In the years when Mr. Bomai was there, all kinds of allegations were made. There was no ED investigation. That is part of the problem. You see, you also suffer from the washing machine problem.
Rajdeep,
yes.
If there is a corruption which has taken place, if there is a scam which has been unearthed, if there is a statement by Congress leadership that they protect the interests and safeguard the interests of Dalit and tribals, and still they have siphoned money from the Valmiki Development Corporation meant for the SCs and STs, and if there is a complaint and the minister resigned, knowing fully well that they have done the scam. So why not? ED
Sir, I want to know when Mr. Ishwarappa, sir, when there were allegations against Mr. Ishwarappa, when there were allegations against your ministers, I did not see the ED enter Karnataka. You see, how long is this going to continue that there are two EDs in the country?
Rajdeep.
One which operates for opposition-ruled states and one which is dormant in your state. That is the problem also. Please arrest everyone. Act
Not
against
at all.
everyone.
ED arrests everyone based on... No, let me tell you. ED is an independent agency. It is not that we are controlling ED. It's an independent agency based on the evidence, based on the leads they have. They act.
Okay.
And they investigate. And after the investigation, they find out whatever the details. If there is no truth in whatever the allegation is there, they will give them...
Okay, you've given me a new spin to the word independent.
But based
You've
on the,
given me a spin to the new word independent, sir. But Tara Krishna Swami, that is part of the problem. People have lost faith. No, people have lost faith, sir. I suggest all you netas come and meet the people of this country. Ask the citizens what they think of you, whether in Bengaluru or any other part. And that goes for both the Congress and the BJP. Tara Krishna Swami, the truth of the matter is the agencies are seen to be highly partisan. That's part of the problem. The politicians are seen to spend an extraordinary amount of money to win an election. So the pressure on them to recoup that investment, it's all adding up to this very, very dangerous situation in states like Karnataka.
True, Rajdeep. That's why I was saying that what worries me is why is it coming out now? For example, the Muda scam was on the CM's affidavit in 2023 elections. Nothing was raised. That means the land was already allotted. Nothing was raised at that point. Nothing was raised, caught at the point that the land was allotted either. And now we come to know of it and we are debating it on prime time. Like I said, we have a due process problem. We don't have institutional capacity to catch these things, or we don't have institutional will to catch these things. And then we don't have the institutional capacity / will to prosecute these things as per due process, investigate and go on. Now, everything comes down to what? If your so-called neutral, non-partisan institutions like the ED are not functioning that way, it all comes down to citizens. And every time we need accountability, we need to hit the streets. Because when opposition chases a sitting government, no matter where, today in Parliament, you're not able to discuss NEET. No matter where, it looks like when opposition chases government, it looks like a kind of a revenge for losing. When government chases opposition, it looks like a witch hunt. So the only way this works in a democracy is if you have independent, strong institutions and adherence to due process, which we see is not happening, which brings it down to citizens repeatedly
But the citizens can only do so much in situations like this. So Sandeep Shastri, I come to the end to a political question. Do you see all of this leading to Siddaramaia's door and a possible change in leadership in the Congress, which is a buzz in some quarters now?
The Congress leadership in the state is definitely on the back foot, and this is visible both in terms of statements, body language of leadership. Will it lead to a change of leadership? I think is a little early in the day, but the party and the leadership is definitely on the back foot. And Rajdeep, I think the entire discussion today shows one thing, that corruption has no political color. And the lens with which different parties view corruption is only trying to say we are not corrupt, but you are corrupt. But at the end of the day, corruption seems to be something that is impacting across the political spectrum in Karnataka. And this is seen in any party which becomes the ruling party becoming a victim of corruption.
Okay, let's leave it there. Clearly at the moment, you've got Karnataka in a way reflecting what is now the crisis of Indian politics, where you have these nexuses that operate with real estate playing a critical role in it. Citizens can simply watch. Will there be accountability? That can only happen if agencies are truly independent and act independently. Otherwise, as was suggested by one of my guests, it appears like a witch hunt to some. You need independent agencies ensuring the rule of law is applied and there is accountability for whoever is in power, and whether it's the Congress or the BJP. I appreciate my guests joining me on my talking point tonight. Let's turn to my other focus tonight, the budget. Now, a lot of the focus in the union budget this year was on jobs and employment creation. But the budget was silent on a key demand that many farmers, particularly the opposition, also has made, a legally mandated minimum support price for their crops. There was no big bang announcement, in fact, for the agriculture sector. While the direct cash transfer scheme stays, the budget saw some cuts in fertilizer subsidy. On Wednesday, a delegation of farmer leaders from 6 states met the leader of the opposition, Rahul Gandhi, in Parliament to raise their demands, especially on MSP. Does the budget have enough for the farmers? What else could the budget have done? Joining me now, very special guest, one of the country's leading agriculture economists. He's been chairman at the Agriculture Research Center. I appreciate you joining us. Ashok Gulati, always good to see you. The budget, as you see it, or as I see it, doesn't seem to have put the focus really on agriculture. A lot of the talk, at least, was on macroeconomic stability, jobs, employment. How do you see it? Did agriculture lose out in a way in terms of priorities in Nirmala Sitharaman's budget this time?
Well, I would say yes, the focus was on growth and employment and also stabilizing inflation and containing fiscal deficit. So these are the macro things, and perhaps they have leaned more towards jobs. Agriculture cannot create more jobs. The people have to be taken out of agriculture because 45.8% of the workforce is engaged in agriculture, with agriculture's share to GDP only 18%. Actually, we should not have more than 30% of the workforce right now in agriculture. Where the jobs can be created in the rural areas or urban areas, I think the big point is the announcement of the PM Gramin Awas Yojana, 2 crore 20 million houses to be constructed in the rural areas and 1 million in the urban areas. So that creates a permanent structure and gives employment people in the rural areas. The Gramin Sadak Yojana also, which has been listed and quite a good allocation has been made. I think that also will create jobs in the rural areas. People have to get jobs in the rural areas, but off the farm. Either you build the value chains of the commodities or you create infrastructure. I think focus has been more on creating infrastructure.
I read a piece, Dr. Gulati, recently where you said the focus should have been on agriculture R&D, on research and development, and that could actually prepare the farm and the rural sector to push in for more investments in these critical areas. Do you think the government is missing the plot, that it doesn't see agriculture in terms of R&D, and the entire political class seems to focus the entire agriculture budget debate at the moment around minimum support price? Ki MSP mila ki nahi?
That's right. If you look at what is the biggest challenge right now agriculture is facing, it is the extreme weather events, climate change. And because of that, either we have heat waves or when we have rains, it pours like cats and dogs. There are floods at a number of places. So you have to raise the productivity and also create your agriculture more climate resilient and climate smart agriculture. The farming practices have to change. And that means it will come through either the seeds, which are climate resilient, they can bear heat waves and so on and so forth, or changing the practices, especially with respect to water utilization. I think that's where ICAR, Indian Council of Agriculture Research, their allocation is more or less flat. In fact, in real terms, it has gone down. So that is a bit of disappointment, although when she opened up that there are 9 priority areas on which she is focusing, the first in the list was raising agriculture productivity and creating climate resilience in agriculture. But how do you create that? And the understanding that we have is they should have invested much, much more in agriculture research, extension, and water management, rather than in massive subsidies they are giving either on fertilizers or food.
You will also recall Prime Minister Modi a few years ago assured a doubling of farm incomes by 2022. That never happened. Is the way to increase, is the challenge still, how do you increase farm incomes? The opposition wants a legal guarantee of MSP. Is that the way, or as you said, investment in R&D and diversification? Crop diversification is the only way to increase farmer income.
Yes, the best way to increase farmers' income, number one, raise their productivity. And that means investing more in irrigation and better farm management practices. So there's a lot of extension work to be done to produce more with less of resources, that is less of water, and not damaging your soils and not creating greenhouse gas emissions. That's one way. But even that has limitations given the cropping structure that we have. The MSP business has led to massive accumulation of stocks of rice, for example. Today, FCI is sitting on 3.5 times the rice stocks than the buffer stock norm. That is huge inefficiency in the system. So I would say if you want to give MSP, especially in Punjab, Haryana region, there should be a package that all the subsidies that rice gets through power, through canal irrigation and through fertilizers, those should be also given in per hectare basis to pulses and oilseeds because they don't consume that much of water or fertilizer. So those subsidies, we worked it out for Punjab. 39,000 rupees per hectare is the subsidy on rice. If you give that much money to pulses, or at least 35,000 rupees to pulses, then farmers may be able to switch to more sustainable crops. But the real income, it's not the MSP business you keep on raising and go totally out of line with the international price markets, price scenario. It is breeding inefficiency. It is the high value agriculture. When you switch from basic cereals, wheat or rice, or even from oilseeds and pulses to high value agriculture, whether it is poultry, whether it is fishery, whether it is fruits and vegetables, whether it is dairy, that can raise your incomes much more. I have been in the fields of Punjab very recently, and I have seen farmers making 10 lakhs rupees per acre through protected cultivation or even exotic fruits like dragon fruit in Punjab they are growing, and there is no MSP business on that front. So we have to graduate from basic staples, which we are comfortable, especially in rice, to more of high value agriculture, which requires much more working capital. It requires building of efficient value chains. So that directly, if they have excess, they can be exported from Punjab to, let's say, the Gulf countries. It just airlift them, earmark Amritsar, for example, as an export zone for agricultural products. So you need to invest in the basic infrastructure for value chains of high value agriculture, the way we did for milk. But fruits and vegetables and others are waiting for it.
You made an interesting point about dragon fruit. The crop diversification, which is critical. But the question therefore is, should the government of Narendra Modi now try to in some way revive the farm reforms? Remember 4 years ago, they tried to push them through, couldn't build a consensus, didn't work. Is it time to revisit it and find a way in which consensus can be built, at least around some of those reforms, which will open up agriculture and enhance agriculture productivity?
The precondition of bringing back the reforms is earning the trust of the states as well as the farmers. And for that, I would suggest, and I have written also about this, that the center should create 2 councils, center-state mix on the lines of GST council, one with the ministers, agriculture ministers of different states, but one more for the farmers, 2 farmers from each state, for example, one owner cultivator, one tenant cultivator. And they should be brought on the table, and the center needs to listen to them. I think they can be, they want market risk to be minimized and therefore augmenting their incomes. So that demand, I am with them. But MSP is not the route to get that. There are many other ways, better ways to do it. Making it legal will complicate the matters even more. If you want to make, let's say, pulses and oilseeds you are importing, there is a big deficit. MSP was a tool devised in 1960s when we were extremely short of wheat and rice. So if you are short of pulses and oilseeds, You can say anybody switching from paddy, we will give this incentive of 35,000 rupees center state to be equally divided. But also we will make sure that pulses when you grow, we will buy at minimum support price. So that will, in a way, substitute your import bill and reduce that. So I think MSP can be made more effective without making it legal.
Okay. Let me in conclusion therefore ask you, do you see the Union Budget 2024 as a missed opportunity yet again for agriculture? No real agriculture reforms. The next budget is 6 months from now. Should agriculture now become the focus area with some innovative reforms?
I would say yes and no, because this type of a thing requires a good preparation. Bigger, bolder reforms, streamlining food and fertilizer subsidies. The two together almost touching about 4 lakh crores in the last budget. This budget, it's a little less, but 3.7 lakh crores. So that 3.7 lakh crores I can write on the wall. If you do it nicely and streamline it, you can save 70,000 crores. But you have to be bold and you have to prepare well and communicate better. It requires a 6 months dedicated effort to lay down the grounds for that type of reforms. And the beginning, as I said, is earning the trust of the states and of farmers. And that can be done through creating these agri-councils.
Okay, let's leave it there, Professor Gulati. As always, whenever one speaks to you, you get a sense of really what are the critical issues that government should address. Sadly, most governments seem reluctant to push ahead now with agriculture reform, certainly not seen in Budget 2024. Appreciate you joining us, Professor Gulati. Diversification. Go and plant some dragon fruit. Let's turn to our Get Real India story that comes from Guna in Madhya Pradesh, which finds itself in another controversy. This time, a convent school in Guna was targeted by the BJP student wing, or the RSS student wing, ABVP. Why? For allegedly stopping a student from reciting Sanskrit verses. The protesters laid siege to the school while the principal was forced to apologize for the English-only diktat. Here's our report from Guna.
The Vandana Convent School in Guna targeted by the ABVP. Workers of the BJP student wing defied the police, scaled the gates and laid siege to the school building on Monday. After a news report claimed that the principal a few days ago had snatched the microphone from a student who recited a shlok. Faced by angry protests, the school staff locked themselves in.
उस विद्यार्थियों को अपमानित किया, हिंदू धर्म को ठेस पहुंचाई, राष्ट्रवाद को ठेस पहुंचाई, गुना नगर वासियों की भावनाओं को आहत किया। इसके लिए आज विद्यार्थी परिषद ने यहां उग्र आंदोलन किया है और मांग की है कि मैडम को जल्द से जल्द निलंबित किया जाए, उनके ऊपर कार्रवाई की जाए।
As protesters refused to leave, the principal was forced to apologize.
अगर मैं किसी धर्म को लेकर कुछ बताया तो मैं extremely sorry चाहती हूँ।
The school management clarified that the verses from Bhagavad Gita, Guru Granth Sahib, Quran and Bible are recited in school prayer meetings. The day the incident happened was designated for English assembly according to the school.
Last Monday, मॉर्निंग असेंबली होने के समय पर 2 बच्चे से पहले से बोले दे स्पीच देना ही है और अंग्रेजी में बोलना ही है। मंडे बच्चे आके हिंदी में शुरू होने से मैंने उनसे बोल दिया, आज अंग्रेजी में स्पीच देने का दिन है, आप अंग्रेजी में बोल दीजिएगा। दोबारा हिंदी में शुरू होने से मैं उनसे बोल दिया, केवल अंग्रेजी का दिन है आज, अंग्रेजी में स्पीच दे दीजिए।
The Education Department has issued a show cause notice to the school management.
निश्चित रूप से घटना निंदनीय है। संस्कृत का श्लोक पढ़ना कोई गुनाह नहीं है और निश्चित रूप से उस टीचर पर भी कार्रवाई हुई है जिसने ये कृत्य किया है।
The police has filed an FIR against the principal and school management. With Ravish Palanguna, Bureau Report, India Today.
This is what happens when a society gets over-politicized. Then you can enter a school and demand what you want by entering the school in the manner that they did. Simply unacceptable. Let's turn now to a good news story which comes again from Madhya Pradesh. This is the story of how a diamond miner struck luck thanks to a 19-carat diamond he found. When auctioned off, a large chunk of the money will be given to the miner, sending him into the Lakpati Club. Take a look at this report from Panna in Madhya Pradesh.
Raju God will soon join the Lakpati Club. God has been mining in Panna for about 10 years. Finally, he has struck diamond.
आज एक हीरा प्राप्त हुआ है हीरा खदान क्षेत्र पटी से कृष्ण कल्याणपुर गांव पे ही है और चुनवादा आदिवासी को हीरा प्राप्त हुआ जो हरगुआ का रहने वाला है। हीरे का वजन 19 कैरेट 22 सेंट है। उज्ज्वल किस्म का हीरा है, अच्छा हीरा है। आने वाली नीलामी में इसको रखा जाएगा और विक्रय किया जाएगा।
The diamond deposited at the Panna Diamond Office will be auctioned. After deducting 12% royalty, the remaining amount will be transferred to his account.
गोवा के एक पट्टेदार हैं, उनको श्री चुनवाद, उनको एक हीरा मिला है 19 कैरेट 22 सेंट का। तो वो कार्यालय में आज उन्होंने जमा कराया है और उसकी लगभग अनुमानित कीमत 80 लाख के करीब होना चाहिए। बाकी तो नीलामी में जितना अधिक से अधिक उनको मिल पाएगा। बड़ा हीरा मिला है।
Raju God's plan is to use the money to educate his children, buy land for farming and pay off his debts. Bureau Report, India Today.